About 2 years ago, there was a website opened, which is a site with cameras online, which observe the border between Mexico and Texas. And the idea of the site is that the authorities are responsibilizing the public to take part on the border control, so that anyone, anywhere in the world can log on to the site and observe the cameras and then report via hotline if they see something considered as suspicious. This scheme is unique because nothing similar has been done elsewhere in the world thus far, but it's actually a quite good example on what is happening in the field of surveillance nowadays. Because previously, surveillance was considered as being something conducted by the authorities, and now more and more the public, anybody in general, can take part in surveillance. Perhaps a good everyday example of this is that in shops and department stores where the monitoring room used to be somewhere else, nowadays the monitors are increasingly turned towards the audience, so that the audience is encouraged to do the observing work, the control work themselves among the authorities. So the thing is getting more and more complex, more and more people are observing instead of just having the authorities behind the camera. After 2 years evaluating the project, it seems that it actually does not work, so that they didn't have as many arrests or as many immigrant referrals that they were hoping to. And it seems that people are either not watching the site, or if they are watching, they are not reporting to the authorities. So it seems that it's not going to be an example to be used elsewhere as well, because it's quite evident that it doesn't work as expected. So theoretically speaking, the idea which was previously very strong in surveillance studies was the idea of the panopticon, in which one person or few persons are watching many, and the one who is watching is exercising power against the ones who are watched. But now, in this kind of new website environment, there are actually many people are watching. Either many are watching few or many are watching many, and this idea of the panopticon does not apply in these cases. One of the consequences is that there is increasing suspicion, like instead of somebody somewhere else perceiving you as suspicious, it could be now anyone who's perceiving you as suspicious. And people are watching each other, and there's kind of increased atmosphere of paranoia in the worst scenario. The gap between the aims and the results is, I think, largely because people don't want to do the observing work, or they don't want to report it to the authorities. One of the reasons is that it's extremely boring to watch because there's nothing happening. You have plenty of cameras, but basically the river is floating and there's nothing going on. So you have to watch for hours and hours to be able to spot something which matters. So that might be one of the reasons. And then the other reason might be that people are not ready to take part in this control. They are not much into control, and they don't want to do the work for the authorities. I think the authorities had high hopes in this, but I'm not sure if it's very much political in the US context. And it was, in the beginning, it was very much political. So it was highly supported by the conservatives, but not so much about the Democratic Party. So the Republicans and the Democrats were in two oppositions in this in the first place. And now, since the administration has changed and the ministers of Obama have already changed many things around the US, I don't think it will continue, because I don't think it will get funding from the authorities. Partly because it seems that it does not work, but partly also because these kind of politics are not so much supported anymore. In terms of the border control, on the border between USA and Mexico, this is a minor thing. It's one example, but it's not a huge thing, because there's all sorts of technology placed on the border. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, and there's huge amount of money also in this business, so that the security equipment companies are trying to sell the authorities and the border sheriff all kinds of equipment, claiming that they will work, but some of those will fail eventually. Like motion detectors, for example, are really difficult to develop in such a way that they would detect humans but not animals. So it's really difficult to make the system work. No one has literally said that it is a pilot experiment, but I think it's quite obvious that if it would have been working really well, there would be a temptation to apply this kind of system to other places, maybe other international borders, or maybe into public urban space. But since it doesn't work, or it seems that it doesn't work and people are not ready to do the work, so I think it's not likely that it will spread around. It was surprisingly difficult to speak Finnish after talking in English for 4 days.
It was better in English.
Nobody is like understanding.
You know what, just one thing? Can I just take a picture of you sitting over there like you were in the interview? Just look at the camera. I'm sorry.
Climb here. I didn't know whether I should look at the camera or someone else.
See, it worked. So you can now look at the camera here. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.